How's it going, internets? I hope you're having a wonderful day. Let's get into some animation, time to get creative, time to get inspired, time to get imaginative, and play with the wonderful world that is animation and the creative process in general. For today's inspiration, I'm pulling out an awesome book. This is Color and Light by James Gurney. He did all of the great Dinotopia books. And I wanted to grab it because there's a cool little quote that I found in here about vision. So, vision is an active process. We don't see as a camera does. Our visual brain assembles the world for us, second by second, sifting and sorting and organizing the chaos that swirls around us. And I thought that was kind of cool to think about. The way that we look at things is different than kind of the truth sometimes, even. You know, the way that you look at, let's say it's like your little brother, like you know, you think about him and you think about his personality and his character and how you knew him when he was a baby to how he grew up now, versus another person who's just walking down the mall and sees a little boy and they don't think twice, and there's just a different way that our minds interpret that. And I think that leads to a creative thing as well, in that, you know, the way that I would see a tree with a leaf on it would be different than you would. Like, you might see it and not care at all about it, or you might see it and be like, oh, that's a coniferous pine. I don't know, I'm not a tree guy. Feel free to leave me notes in the comments below about trees if you want to. Anyways, so I thought that was kind of cool and an interesting way to bring that into your art and try and bring your own voice and your own experience and your own vision for the way that you see things into whatever it is that you're doing. Again, I'll throw up a couple more of these awesome illustrations from James Gurney. I will leave a link to this in the show notes if you want to grab a copy for yourself. I know color theory is something that I definitely, reason I was looking at this is because I need to brush up on my color theory. I don't think I've spent nearly enough time with it, because I usually just do like more sketches and an animation rather than get into color and painting and everything. But his stuff is just beautiful. So if you get a chance, grab this book. Really good on color theory, and also just into his creative process as well. If you don't remember the Dinotopia series, maybe that'll give you a quick glimpse and reminder of what he's into. So without further ado, let's get into animating for today. We're using Maya 2014, and this is a Spiderbot rig, which is from Creative Crash, the wonderful folks over there. It's a free rig you can grab. I will leave the information below if you want to try it out. And if you're not familiar with the series, what we kind of do is, at least with what we've been doing lately, is grab a rig. I've never used this rig before. Open it up in Maya, give ourselves about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, and see what we can come up with as far as animating goes. So let's see here. Let's go ahead and pull that, create a new layer here, and we'll hide that. I need to raise this up just a little bit more. Just so that we can grab all the controllers we need there. Might need to lower it down a little bit more though, but we'll see. So I was thinking with this one, maybe some quick little steps might be a fun way to do it. I'm gonna scramble around a little bit and be a fun little guy. Let's go ahead and pull these in a little bit more. And again on this side as well. Raise it up a little bit more. Let's grab the right controller here. Let's go ahead and turn everything off except for our NURB curves, NURB surfaces, and polygons. If I could separate those, that would help out a little bit more. All right. And let's go ahead and move that in a little bit more. could squish that down a little bit more too. And this guy too. Let's see. Let's go pull those in a little bit more. Yeah, feels like a fairly good starting pose there. A little bit further out on there. Alright, so let's grab everything we have there and go ahead and set a key on 1. And I think we'll do these on 4s instead of 6s because I want these to be quicker little steps. So we'll grab this guy and this guy and bring it forward. So let's just go to 8. Move it there. Go ahead and move that guy there. So we'll go ahead and delete what we had on 4. We'll have the steps be, instead of how usually I do it on like a base 6 system, this will be on like a base 4 so that we can get quicker steps. And let's grab these 2. Let's set what we have at 8 and then moving forward to 16. Let's go ahead and put the hips forward a little bit more as well. And again, we're just laying the foundation or the base, so this will just be kind of the steps and the hips and getting that stuff working, and then we'll get in and we'll add all the extra things we can do to increase the illusion of life on this guy. This little Spiderbot. Very cute rig, and it seems like it will animate pretty well too. Seems like there's enough controllers and that they all kind of work pretty well. So it shouldn't be too hard to get some decent animation out of this guy. So let's go ahead and key what we have there, and then move to 32. Bump it forward, bump those hips forward. And then grab those 2, set there, and go 40. And move forward again. Those 2 could be a little bit further. And then let's grab these 2, set what we have there, and move them forward to 48. And move those hips forward again. Okay, so let's just watch how that goes. Okay, it's got a lot of the good foundation here, so let's go ahead and save our file here. Just do File, Save As. Just call it Spiderbot Walk. Sounds good. Remember, if you do like this series, to throw me some thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for more updates as soon as I can get them out. And if you have suggestions or you think there's different things we could tackle or talk about, definitely leave them in the comments below, as well as any thoughts, comments, ideas, or criticisms. Definitely anything to make the channel better and make it more interesting to the people who want to check it out. Let's get into, looks like this is translate X. Usually it's translate Z from left to right, but that's okay. Different rigs. And so let's even that out. So it's this is going to be our left to right movement, and we want to make that a nice, smooth, consistent movement. Now sometimes we don't, but for the case of this one, I think we'll definitely do that. So let's go ahead and see. Okay, let's go ahead and get our up and down, so we'll go ahead and go here at 4 and raise them up. And we're going to offset these so they're not hitting on exactly the same frame as well. And we'll make sure we key those again, just hit S to key them, and we'll raise them up here, so lift up and go down. Make sure we set that key again, set it at 32 and 40, and we'll raise it up here, and we'll bring it down. There we go. And now let's do the other side here. Go ahead and reset that key on 8 and 16, and then raise it up here on 12. set there, and raise up for that passing position there. And 40 and 48, and raise it up again. Okay, so let's go ahead and watch that. Okay, now let's go ahead and do a little bit of up and down here. Let's have it actually go down on the passing position and back up on the contact. So down and up and down and up, and we'll even out the values here in a second, but we're just laying down some more of the groundwork here. And I think we'll do a little bit of squash and stretch on the head controller as well, so that'll offset a little bit and get a little bit of up and down movement between the two as well. First of all, it's a little too much, so let's pull up our graph editor here, and we'll even out those values a little bit more. But I like this rig. It's a very cute little rig. Okay, so let's go ahead and see. Yeah, let's go ahead and grab this guy. And we'll do the same. So we'll squash it down there, and raise it up there, and then we'll delay that a frame or two as well. Let's go ahead and see that now. And let's even out those values as well. Okay, let's go ahead and see that now. And then if we delay it a frame, I bet that'll look even better. So let's go ahead and see. That feels good. Let's see what this would look like if we reversed the up and down positions on there. Let's just see. And that's really kicking up there. Nah, I think I like it better this way, but I think I might shorten it up a little bit more. Let's keep it back towards where we can. Okay, let's go ahead and save our file again here. And I think I want to push the hips forward a little bit more, or the base here, and then back a little bit there. Now let's go ahead and push that foot in a little bit more. This will help our silhouette here. So we're going to go ahead and that's fine. Now let's play with this one, a little silhouette on this foot. Make sure it's translating enough. See, like right there, that's too much. So we're going to need to pull it back a little bit. And then for that, let's go ahead and pull this guy in a little bit more. So let's see. And this is still a little bit too far forward, so let's go ahead and pull it back a little bit. That means we're going to have to pull this guy back a little bit. silhouette in those feet moves. Okay, let's go ahead and save what we have here. And let's go in and push the hips over there. And then over here. And over there. There. And over there. There. And then neutral out again here. And I'll just add a little bit of sway so it kind of favors the back planted foot here. And let's even out those values here. Okay, let's go ahead and watch that now. There we go, a little bit of side to side. Okay, go ahead and save what we have. Control S here again. And let's do a little bit of rotate. So let's rotate. Rotate X on here. Figured it would be Z because that's what the Z was there, but that's okay. Let's rotate X, and then we're just favoring that back planted foot again. And back again. And let's go ahead and even out those values again. That now. See how it looks. Here we go. That's feeling a little better. And now let's put a little bit of rotate Y in here. That's going to favor that forward planted foot. Actually, let's do that more. Doing that the wrong way to favor it for some reason. There we go. That's better because we want to get that emphasizing that forward movement. Okay. And let's take those values and maybe pull them back just a little bit. I felt like that was going to be a little bit much. Okay. Let's go ahead and watch that now. And let's go ahead and rotate that way, and that way, and that way, that way, that way, and back again. Just a little bit of rotate top, balance out the rotate that's in. I'm treating this more like the chest and not more like the hips if this was a human being. Okay, let's go ahead and see if that works. We'll do a little bit of bounce on that here. I think we'll delay it 2 frames as well. Okay. So like I said, we'll delay that 2 frames here. And then we'll switch it up, actually, since we did that. So we'll put our ups when our downs were and our downs when our ups were. So that should give us about the right feel that we're looking for. And let's do cannon up. And we're just gonna pull those values in a little bit more because it's a little bit wilder than I want to be. So tone it back, pull it back, tone it down. You know what I mean. And let's go ahead and watch that and see how that feels. Okay, still feels like it's a little bit much. Too much. Let's go ahead and see it now. Oh, it's the cannon boom. Oh, that's kind of funky. I wonder if that would be helpful. Let's see. Let's put a little bit of that in there. But a little bit goes a long way with this controller, that's for sure. But I think if we use it kind of like a squash and stretch for the tip of the cannon, that could add a little bit of life to that as well. But like I said, a little bit goes a long way with this, so we're really going to have to tone this down. But it's a very minimal amount that changes a lot, so it's okay to over-exaggerate it, and we'll just pull it back in a second. And we might delete the whole idea in the end anyways, but I think it could add a little bit of life here. Especially if we offset it from what was already going on. I think that would help. Too much, so let's go ahead and grab all these values and we're really going to squash them down. I think we'll do a little bit this way as well. Because we just want this to kind of feel like there's a little bit of rubberiness to it, but not too much. Let's see. And let's go ahead and delay that a frame. Let's see. And let's see what happens if we do the inverse of what we have. Let's see if that looks better. Let's do one more frame here. That feels pretty good. It's the Canon FB. I think this might be a little too much movement here, so we might get rid of this. But we'll see if we can get it to feel right. Canon FP. Let's just do a little bit of this. Just the easiest amount. Just to get it kind of stick out as it goes between the up and down positions there. Let's see. So it's like out and down and out and down. Okay, let's watch that now. And let's tone down that cannon boom as well. feels about right. Okay, let's go ahead and save what we have here again. And let's go ahead and let's see. Move over to the other side. Just trying to add a little bit of drag into there. Let's see. So we could do rotate Z. Let's go watch that now. Feels like that's too much. Let's tone it down and just put a little bit. I want at least a little bit of change of shape in that foot on the passing position. So let's go and watch that now. Okay, let's try doing a little bit here as well. Okay, that works all right. Okay, let's do a little bit here. Rotate and Z up there, and rotate it and Z and up there. Rotate it and Z and up there. Let's see. I think that might be a little too much. So let's go tone that down a little bit. Let's see. Maybe the translates are just a little too high. Let's lower the rotate Z values a little bit more. Let's see. Did a rotate Y, so let's just stay. Let's try that. this side here. This is just feels too quick on this one for some reason. There's a little bit of, I could raise it up, and then down, up, and down, up, and down, up, and down, up, and down. Let's see. Maybe a little less, but it's an okay idea. Kind of drags the butt down a little bit lower. I think I like that. But I think we're going to tone that movement down a lot there. Let's see. This one, yeah, let's do that one. Move it forward a frame. Let's go and watch that. Yeah, let's go ahead and delay these two a frame as well. Actually, you know what? Let's go back. I'm gonna take that and that and increase that frame. So moving forward a frame, and this, and that, and have them back a frame. So delay a frame. So let's see. I think the problem with this is this first step is too big or something. Let's go and watch that now. And let's do a little bit, just a little bit, rotate Y here. And we'll see, this might be too much. second, I'm just going to pause this real quick. Okay, sorry about that. And I think that's working okay. Got a little bit of a figure 8 going on in there, so that feels about right. Let's save what we have here and then see if there's any sort of controllers that are for show. Yeah, there is a controller for here. So let's see. Should we do anything with that eye? I wish there's kind of a controller for that. I thought there might be one on the bottom as well, but it doesn't look like it. Let's just set a key there. We'll just do it on 12s, have it look around a little bit. Now we kind of hold those positions a little bit more. So now we're just going to take those values and minimize them a little bit and then hold them for another frame. Let's see. Let's turn everything off here. Show NURB curves, NURB surfaces, and polygons. Let's turn off our NURB curves here. Alright, that feels about right. A little bit of a quicker one tonight, but I think that turned out pretty well. It's got a good little bit of life to it. Nice little bobble in that cannon thing. Almost looks like a little nose for this one. And it's got good steps. It's got weights going back and forth. Alright, so let's just go ahead and save what we have. Control S here, and go ahead and do render current frame. Let's see how it turned out. Okay. Looks pretty cool. And let's go ahead and play blast what we have here. This is Spiderbot block and play blast. Played with the timing a little bit more on this one. And a lot of the looseness in the head and in the cannon. I think that turned out pretty well. So again, keep in mind today as you're working to use your own imagination, your own view of the world, your own way, your particular way of vision and seeing the world and seeing people and seeing things and seeing everything and interpreting it around you, and try to keep that creative, keep it inspired, keep pushing yourself, keep trying every day. I hope you guys have a wonderful and awesome day. Remember, if you like this video, throw me some thumbs up. If you have any comments, criticisms, ideas, thoughts, concerns, anything, go ahead and throw them down below. And that being said, love you all. I hope you have a great night. Keep being creative, keep getting imaginative and inspired, and having fun. And we will see you for some more animation tomorrow.